Are you a teenager who hates what they see in the mirror and wants to change so bad, but you can't find the correct information online? I was too, and that's why I'm making this video that's specifically made for teenagers to help them look the way they want to. Alright, so first things first, what are my credentials to even be talking about this? I'll preface by saying that I'm not jacked, I'm not shredded, not ripped. I'm not like everyone else with nuts genetics that look like they're on steroids on Instagram and TikTok. I'm just a normal person, and I've been lifting for 2 years, so I'm slightly above average, but I don't think this is a bad thing. This just makes me more relatable to you. Anyways, the actual credentials. This was me 3 months ago. Yeah, it was rough. Still cutting. I'm not done yet. I'm down about 50 pounds, trying to get down to 145. I'm at 155 right now. If you're still here, I'm hoping that you trust me, and yeah, we're just gonna get started. First thing that needs to be analyzed is if you even need to cut at all. If you're watching this video, then the answer is most likely yes. You probably decided that a long time ago. I'm not gonna lie. The biggest indicator of whether you should cut or not is if you like your body. Yes, you've probably heard that it's best for teenagers to lean bulk and get a lot of nutrients and not to cut for all the growth reasons and whatever. And yes, that is largely correct. But what people don't understand is how much it sucks to hate how you look. But of course, if you're obese, overweight, you need to cut for health reasons. That's not really what I'm talking about here. Some of you may need only 3 months to get where you want, some of you more. It really depends where you are, your genetic levels, your how advanced you are, things like that. Now, hopefully you know for sure if you need to cut. Maybe you don't like the way you look, maybe you need it for health reasons, whatever. Hopefully you're making the right choice. Yeah. So you know for a fact you want to cut. There are many different ways to cut, and I'm going to go over them all in this video. Before we get into the different types of cut, what makes a cut in the first place? A calorie deficit. You've probably heard this term before, whether you understand what it means or not. It basically means eating less than your maintenance calories, and without this, cuts don't exist. You cannot lose weight if you are not in a calorie deficit, I promise. A calorie deficit is basically just eating less calories than you burn in a day. A lot of people think this means eating less than they work out in a day, but that's not true because you burn most of your calories just sitting there. You're burning calories right now. I'm burning calories right now. Your organs burn calories to function. How do you find out how much your body burns? Well, this is called your TDEE, and you can find it out by going to a TDEE calculator on your phone, inputting all your information. This will give you a rough estimate of your maintenance. If you want to be a nerd, then you can test this for like 2 weeks to be sure, but for me, I just take that and lower or raise the calories. And in this case, for the cut, you're going to lower the calories. Anything under that maintenance calorie number will be a deficit. That's why there's different types of cuts. The first cut is a traditional cut. This is probably what you think of when you hear lose weight or someone in a diet. This is losing 1 to 2 pounds per week, and this is being in a slight deficit of 300 to 500 calories below the maintenance we were just talking about. If you're watching this video, I recommend this cut. Take away 300 to 500 calories and eat at that consistently, and you will lose weight. If you're a beginner, this is perfect. This is what I did when I first started lifting and I was a little chubby and didn't like it. Worked perfectly. It's great. The other kind of cut, which is what I did to lose 50 pounds in the past 3 months, was a very aggressive cut. This is a calorie deficit of like 1,000 calories below your maintenance. And honestly, as someone who's done it a few times, it is not healthy or sustainable at all, and I do not recommend it. This type of cut messes up your hormone levels, your energy levels, your muscle, pretty much everything. And I felt all those side effects personally in the past 3 months. And it has sucked. Honestly, I'm doing this cut as a personal challenge for myself, and I know all of the risks. But if I had done this my first year of lifting, it would have been awful. I do not recommend this beginners at all. I actually aggressively cut like this a year ago, and I developed somewhat of a binge eating disorder, which was not good. So please do not aggressively diet unless you're advanced, you know all the risks, and you still want to. So hopefully by this point you know that you go to a TDEE calculator, find your maintenance, and subtract 300 to 500 calories from that number. It sounds super simple, right? That's because it is. Literally calorie deficit, that's it. But here's where a lot of people mess this up. They find that number, input it, and then they track their calories incorrectly. So first you need to download an app like MyFitnessPal. That's what I use, but there's a shit ton of other apps that track your food that you can input your food into. Get one of those. Second, get a food scale. You can get this from your grocery store or Amazon for like $10. Pretty much weigh every single thing that you're eating based on what the nutrition box says. You do not have to do this forever, and I don't recommend it because it can create unhealthy relationships. But in order for a calorie deficit to work, you actually have to be in that deficit. So you need to make sure for certain that you are getting the calories you say that you are. So everything I just explained is how you lose weight. You could do that, just be in a calorie deficit, ensure you're in that deficit, and you will lose weight. You could eat 4 donuts a day that are 1,500 calories, and you will lose a shit ton of weight. The issue is you will feel awful. You need to prioritize nutrients and micronutrients for your cut to be sustainable. I learned this the hard way. Like I said, with my binge eating disorder, I did not get the nutrients I need, and that's largely why my cut failed so horrifically. If you guys want a story about that, I can definitely go in detail. I just don't think anyone really cares. Specifically, you need protein, fat, and micronutrients. Protein helps to build muscle and keep the muscle. I'm going to be honest, you're not going to build much muscle, but if you want to maintain the muscle you have, then yeah. And if you're a pure newbie, you'll get newbie gains, which this protein will help. Protein also keeps you full the longest. It's very satiating, which means you won't be hungry and struggle to be in your deficit. As well as protein burns the most calories digesting. So it's all in all fantastic to have on a cut, and I would definitely add 1 gram per pound of body weight, no matter what your goals are. Fat is also very important that people don't understand, but this regulates your hormones. And if you're a guy like me, then your testosterone is very important, and this cut can already mess it up a ton, so you don't want anything else going wrong. Micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, things that can be on red meat, liver, all things like that is also very important because you're getting less calories. You're not going to be getting those things from other sources. So maybe you want to do some vitamins to take every night, something like that. Carbs aren't as important. I barely have any carbs, but I do take before my lifts because carbs are very good before your lifts. So carbs aren't that important. They aren't that necessary. So you don't need to worry about them too much if you're trying to lose weight. If you want to build muscle while losing weight, which is very unlikely unless you're a newbie, if I'm being totally honest, but to maintain the muscle and to do after your cut, you need to start lifting 4 to 6 times a week to failure, absolute failure, non-negotiable, as well as getting your protein. You need to do those 2 things to build muscle, non-negotiable. So you know how to cut, how to optimize your cut, and how to build muscle on your cut. So you know largely what to do, but here are some more tips that I've learned since I've lost 50 pounds in the past 4 months and for my other 2 cuts, which I failed on in the previous 2 years. Number 1, drink your water. Water is so important for so many things. Obviously, you need to live, but it helps flush out your body, sodium, whatever. It just makes you feel good. And drinking water can make you less hungry, so I definitely recommend drinking a ton of water on your cut. Tip number 2, the first week of your cut is going to be the hardest by far. You're going to struggle. You're going to think, I can't do this. I need to eat. But as soon as that first week's over, it is smooth sailing for at least like 8 weeks, which is some of you, all you need is that long. So just get through the first week and understand it will get better. Number 3, cardio. Cardio does not equal weight loss. Cardio does further your deficit, but not by as much as people think. So one thing you should never do is never eat back your calories burned from cardio, because that is not accurate. Use cardio as a tool, eat your normal calories, and you'll just be in more of a deficit and lose weight a little bit faster. It's very good. I do 40 minutes of cardio per day. It's very good to do. Number 4, like I said, this video is for teenagers, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. You want to change your diet, but you don't really have control over what your parents buy. So for me, I didn't really have to struggle with this, thankfully, but I do know some people that do. And what you first need to do is talk to your parents, talk to them about your goals, and see if they understand and can get you some different food or whatever you need. Second, if that doesn't work, then your options are limited. I'm sorry. You can just try to eat less. You can work out more for sure, get in more cardio. That's all things you can do. But if you really need the protein sources, the healthy food, and you just can't, then getting a part-time job might be the move. I work at McDonald's. I don't love it, but it's where your goals are. It's what you want to be. Are you willing to sacrifice your time to be someone you want to be or not? And that's pretty much your only option. It's unfortunate, but how bad do you want it?